Hello, welcome to the Junos PyEZ Rescue Configuration Learning Byte. I'm Gordon Mosley with the Education Services Department at Juniper Networks. Let's get started. After completing this learning byte, you will be able to use the Junos PyEZ config module to manage Junos Rescue Configuration. Junos platform supports saving a local configuration file that is known as the rescue configuration. The rescue configuration normally is a very minimal configuration that can be loaded on a device in case of an emergency, and it's just enough configuration to allow the device to be managed. And at that point, a more complete configuration could then be loaded onto the device. When a rescue configuration is created, it is generated based on the active configuration that's currently running on that platform. Rescue configurations have traditionally been created using the Junos CLI. In this learning byte, we're going to use the Junos PyEZ Python library and Python version 3 to create a rescue configuration on a Junos device. Let's explain a little bit about Junos PyEZ. Junos PyEZ is a free Python library available from Juniper Networks that enables you to automate the management of Junos devices using Python. It provides similar capabilities to the Junos CLI. You can execute any operational mode command. You can manage Junos device configuration, upgrade the Junos software, reboot, all without needing to have extensive Junos or Junos CLI knowledge. There's several ways you can learn more about Junos PyEZ. There's a free Junos PyEZ developer's guide. And there is also our Introduction to Junos Platform Automation and DevOps course. The Junos PyEZ Python library is a series of modules, and some of the primary modules contain submodules. And those submodules contain, different object classes that can be used to perform operations on Junos platforms. The utils module of the Junos PyEZ library contains a config submodule, and this is the module we'll focus on in this learning byte, and it performs, as you would imagine, Junos device configuration operations. There's a file system module to perform file system operations. There are some modules to transfer files, execute shell commands on Junos devices, perform software upgrade or reboot or power cycle operations on Junos devices. The Junos PyEZ config module defines the config object class, and the config object class has several methods that are available to manage Junos device configuration. In this learning byte, we're going to focus on the rescue method of the config object, but as you can see, we can lock configuration files, roll back, load, commit, perform differences between a candidate and an active config or any configuration. So it's very flexible, and again, similar options that are available to you using the Junos CLI. I have a sample Python script that leverages the Junos PyEZ library, utils, config modules, config object class. We actually import that using a from statement. We also import from the Junos PyEZ Python library a device object class. So the device object class will represent the Junos device, and the config object will expose the methods that allow us to configure that device. This example script uses Python context manager with as syntax to kind of declare interesting participants here with the device object representing this target host as this string dev, and then with the config object associated with that target host as dev as cu. I want to perform a rescue operation. This is the rescue method that we saw on the previous screen for the configuration objects that is identified by this value. And the action that I would want to take now is save. And this actually will create a copy of the active configuration on that Junos platform and save it locally on that device as the rescue configuration. But you can retrieve a rescue configuration, create one, delete one, load one. Now, if you use the reload action, you also have to include a commit. A commit is not, included as part of a reload action. And then once this Python script is run, there should be a rescue configuration present on the device. I'm going to connect to a CentOS administrator workstation that has the Junos PyEZ library installed, and also has the rescue save Python script that we can run and verify the operation. Okay, this is my CentOS administrator workstation, and it has the Junos PyEZ Python library installed. And so first, let's connect to, I have a VMX device that I'm going to connect to it, and I'm going to run the file list command, and I want to look in the config directory on this host for a rescue.conf file. It's actually rescue.conf.gz. It's kind of gun zipped up to save a little bit of space there, and there's currently no rescue configuration present on this device. So I'm going to exit my SSH connection to that device, and let's run the rescue save Python script to create a rescue configuration on the device, connect back to the device, and let's run our file list command again and see if a rescue configuration is present. And I see the rescue.conf.gz file there. That allows me, now remember, that's a copy of the current active configuration on the device. I can enter configuration mode, run a rollback rescue to load the rescue configuration as my candidate. I can run a show pipe compare, and there are no differences, right? Because it's the same file. And so a rescue configuration was generated. Now remember, you can also use Junos PyEZ to configure and load and commit a rescue configuration, so it eliminates the need for you to do this process manually. In this learning byte, we use the Junos PyEZ config module to manage Junos rescue configuration. Thank you very much.
Visit the Juniper Education Services website to learn more about courses. View our full range of classroom, online, and e-learning courses. Learning paths, industry segment and technology-specific training paths. Juniper Network's certification program, the ultimate demonstration of your competence. And the training community, from forums to social media. Join the discussion.